and Mr. S. Mr. S is going to be another good show.
I'm excited. We've had our guest on here before, but we're going to have him again to tell some more because he has some great stories. So if you want to hear stories about someone that has overcome, I will say he hasn't overcome it. He's continuously overcoming a situation in his life that he's been given dealt some cards that most of us would not even be able to handle. And he's not only handled it, but he has overcome, and he's living a life of, what would you call it? He's just killing it in every regard.
He's killing it everywhere, and he's having a blast.
He is. And so stay tuned. Cannot wait to bring Zach on again. But until then, I want to get caught up with you, Termite. I had the privilege of sitting in on one of your calls a little earlier about the movie.
Yeah.
And so that's progressing.
Pretty exciting, wasn't it?
It was very exciting. And, for the folks listening, some of our people have watched and heard about your movie. The one thing I'd like to talk about is how long has it been that you started? Like when you first started, how long has it been?
Some 20-something years ago.
20-something years ago.
Yeah.
So the people, just to set it, the people that hear us talk about your movie and you're excited, I want to emphasize it's been 20-something years.
Well, let's go back. 2004 is when I went to the Olympics. Mm-hmm. And this all started before I even got back. People were approaching me for movies mm-hmm. and stuff like that while I was in Iraq. And but when I got back, it just, the talk of the movie was just going, just flooding. Everywhere I went, people were talking about it. And people were offering me deals. And we kept turning people down. We turned a lot of people down, and a lot of people thought we were crazy, because we had some really nice offers. But, Mr. S, we wanted to do it not so much our way, but what I call the right way.
Right.
I didn't want to have a bunch of filthy talk in it because our soldiers didn't talk like that.
Right.
And then they wanted to have some filthy scenes. And that wasn't true. And this movie is based on a true story.
They wanted to take your story and embellish it with things that they thought would make it better.
That's right.
And I think it's a good enough story without those deals.
I do too.
So you don't have any regrets on doing it sooner?
No, kind of bringing back to everybody, we had signed with with Sylvester Stallone, and we are going to keep him involved in this. And but it wasn't Sylvester; he's great, but it was people that was with him, right. And they wanted me to. Some things. Yeah, they delayed some things. They wouldn't give me any dates, and then they, wanted me to get rid of the people that got me to where I was, and there's a time that as a man you just got to take a stand, and do the right thing.
Right.
And the right thing was to not let the people go that had been with me, had got me where I was, and I got to tell you, there was times that I was wondering, man, is this ever going to happen? But it goes back to something we always say, it was in God's timing. And
something's out of your control.
Some of it is. And this evidently was one of the things that was out of my control because I've worked on it for all this time. I've tried to push it, and it's not going till now. But it's amazing because now we get to have the parts about God in it that were real. We get the filthy talk out. This is going to be a movie that everybody can see. My granddaughters can see.
Right. I know that was important to you. And the other one, I read the script.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want granddaughters.
No. There was, probably 40-something F-bombs in there. I'm not, first of all, I don't allow talk like that around me. I call people out if they talk like that around me.
Well, I know in the movie, the guy did cuss you out. So there's some, but they added stuff that just wasn't even true.
That's right.
For what?
Yeah, so much of it that they did add was not true, and it was just glorified or whatever. But to me, it diminished it. It
right.
took away from it.
Well, what I want to emphasize and kind of have you highlight on, you said there were periods, probably extended periods, where you said, "Is this even going to happen?"
Yeah.
Talk to us more about that. Like, there's people watching, they've probably got something they've been working on forever or hoping for. And, you've gone 20 something
Yeah.
years. How did you sustain? How do you sustain the energy? How do you keep going? How do you keep persevering?
I persevered because I'm not a quitter. Quitters never win. You know, you never have a chance of succeeding if you quit.
Right.
You know, when Zach comes and tells the story, he could have quit from day one,
Oh, geez.
but all it did was motivate him. And I've known him since he was a little squirt, you know, and a pain in the butt. And anyway, but Zach, I'm not going to get into Zach because I got so much stuff I want to talk about. So ask me another question.
Yeah, I really want to know. Give me some pointers for somebody that's trying to push through something that's been. It seems like it's taken so long.
Yeah.
How do you dig deep? Where do you get your source of, I guess, just grit to keep on going?
I get my grit or my source from Christ. You know, everybody knows how I stand about Christ, and He is the answer. He is my source. He is my power. And but He's given me a drive that might be stronger than a lot of people have. I don't like to quit. I've never quit. I've never been stopped in a fight, and so I'm not going to quit. And talking about quitting, wouldn't it have been ashamed if I would have quit a year ago
No kidding.
when all this just really, the big
I
stuff
know.
just happened just recently. Even
Right.
as of
Yeah.
today and yesterday, a bunch of big stuff has happened.
Right. And there's times where you probably could have.
Yeah.
There's a lot of time. There's a lot of money invested, and at some point you can say, you know what, I'm getting older. This isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to quit. Some people, I think, quit because they are in essence trying to spare themselves from more pain,
Yeah.
and they think the future is just full of more pain.
Yeah.
So why keep going? And if that's the truth, then yeah, you should quit because, you know, why just subject yourself to more pain?
Yeah.
But then you're losing the vision of the hope of why am I doing this?
Yeah.
You're not doing it for more pain. You're doing it because you are going to see what you want to see.
And the pain would have hit me hard if I wouldn't have done it, if I would have quit, because I would rather keep trying. If you keep trying, you've got a chance. If you quit, you never have a chance.
The
Your
pain
chances
of
are over.
regret. You know, I've read different things, these different articles and interviews where they interview people on their deathbed. They're basically their last days on this earth, and they ask them what they regret. And a lot of them they regret not taking chances.
Yeah.
They regret not going for something or not trying this, playing it safe. So I wish I would have did that. So I think it's better to just go for it. You know,
Yeah.
you can't regret something if you at least try.
There's a whole lot more fun in trying than quitting and not having anything to, try for.
At least you got a story.
Yeah. And I've got a story. I've kept it going for 20-something years now. And I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I didn't quit a year ago because the story is really coming to fruition now. It's happening now. And just to catch everybody up, I joined with a group called the Sailor Brothers. And they're wonderful people, Kenny and Kyle. And we're thinking that the Angel Studios is going to be involved with us. That's still yet to be seen, but it's a good possibility because I've met the people. I met Kenny and Kyle. I got to go to a Christian film festival at Johnny Cash's old house, and that was pretty awesome.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, and but back to the quitting. I've never quit anything, and I urge the people out there, don't quit, because whether it be in business or whether it be with your family or whether it be with your spouse, if you quit, you can never get to where you wanted to be. And the old saying, like we said a while ago, quitters never win. That's so true. And I'd rather be said that Termite Watkins is a winner because he never quits.
That's right.
And so, and our next guest is that person.
Speaking of winners, I think we should bring in our next guest.
I think so. I think it'd be a good timing.
Also, cue up the music and let's bring him on out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. On In the Ring with Termite and Mr. S. Tonight's guest is living proof that strength isn't measured in pounds, but in impact. Born without legs, but somehow still 10 steps ahead. He's an adaptive athlete, an unfiltered truth teller, and a man who never skips arm day. He's a barrier breaker, a mindset mover, and according to multiple DMs, the sexiest man on wheels. He doesn't just bend the rules, he rules them. Give it up for the one-of-a-kind, limit-defying, crowd-amplifying, Zach No Limit
Well, Zach, it is.
Can you hear?
I can hear myself.
All right, we can hear
All
you.
right,
We're all good.
we're
We're
good.
golden. Welcome back, Zach.
Hey, thank you, man. It's good to be back. Honestly, we had so much stuff to go over last time. We didn't get a good chance to talk about. So I'm happy we're back in action.
Hopefully
Yes, sir.
we can.
And it's so exciting hearing about your movie finally making some traction, man. I've been hearing about that since I was
That long?
15 years old. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's been a little minute, man.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happy stuff's going for you.
Well, it's because we never quit on it, and I'm so excited that we get to interview you again because your life has been no quit. There's no quit in you. Even when your mama said she was going to punch you like a football down the stairs, there was no quit.
Not at all. No, I couldn't see myself. I couldn't see myself honestly quitting anything. Nobody remembers quitters, man.
That's
you
right.
know, like that's a big one to me. And now a big one to me is I got a lot of people that follow me and look up to me and kind of follow in my footsteps. You know, so I got a lot of people to lead and inspire, and I'll continue. I ain't going to stop now.
Yeah.
And I think I said this last time, but I'll say it again. Most of our guests, we have to kind of warm up to what their challenges in life that they overcame. Yours is very obvious.
Yeah, it's right in your face. I feel like, right. I was getting on a bus the other day, and some dude was like, "Man, you need a hand," and I was like, "No, I need a leg, dude." Like, he was like, "I'm so sorry, dude." I was like, "Nah, dude, it's a joke." Yeah, but yeah, it's there, But then again, though, I feel like it's kind of worked towards my advantage too. Like I feel like I've turned my biggest disadvantage into my biggest advantage. You know?
And I can't wait to hear more about that. Because another thing about our format is we bring somebody on, they've got a challenge, that they overcame it, and now we kind of hear the rest of their story. Yours is just a constant. It's just a different life. You're living in a world that really wasn't designed for you, and you've had to adapt.
I love that.
Constant adaptation.
That's cool. I love that. I love how you said earlier how I played my cards, because I have an old saying that I said in a podcast actually once. I was like, man, I felt like I got dealt a 7 deuce, but I played it like some pocket aces. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
And he was like, "Oh, I love that. I should have put that on a shirt." So when you had the poker reference earlier, I was like, "Oh, that hits home."
Well,
for
good
me."
deal.
Yeah.
Well, it's been great. Your childhood, having a mama, which we'll get into in a little bit about her, but pushing you. You've had people pushing you.
Absolutely.
And not letting you quit. And Mr. S, it's important that we don't let our kids quit, that we don't let our employees quit. We, our spouses or whoever it might be, we have got to set the tone for people to not quit, because quitting's gotten easy. Mm-hmm. A lot of
Very
people
easy to
quit.
quit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of alternatives.
Yeah. Zach, a lot of people see someone like yourself, okay, as, handicap, can't do this, can't do that. Mm-hmm. Well, there's never been anything that you can't do, and we're going to get to that in a minute, from the weights to the, going everywhere to driving. I mean, you do everything.
Yeah.
And when they meet you, or when they get to know you, you're a man of confidence. You've always had confidence. You speak with confidence. You I say you walk with confidence, you roll with confidence.
Hey, I
you
love
know,
it. Yeah.
you and you do.
Thanks.
And all you got to do is be around you for a second, and you've got all this confidence. But was there ever a time early in your life that you didn't have confidence, or that you?
Oh yeah. There was times that just challenged me more than the next times, I feel like. But I felt like I was kind of, I was in a way for my life and how I was born disabled and everything else. I felt like I was just in the perfect storm.
Yeah.
Because I had a mom that was just no pushover, hard nosed, stern woman. Just like had to play the role of both parents, kind of.
Yeah.
Dad was
Single
never
mom. She was
there.
a single
Oh
mom.
yeah, and she really, I mean, she did what she could, but she really couldn't just handle me all the time. I was kind of a wild child, and I had my friends there, which they were awesome, and they never cut me out or let me hang out. Besides, like not doing what they're doing. Like if they went and played dodgeball, they're like, "No, Zach's playing dodgeball." If they went and played flag football, I would just be all-time quarterback. So like I was fortunate enough to have friends that pushed me every day and like didn't let me be like just a stereotypical handicapped disabled man.
Right.
And I had a mom that was just hard on me and kind of just made me do everyday life stuff, everyday chores that I guess any other kid would do. But I don't know about this day and age. But
Yeah. So that the people will know, let's start with your birth.
okay.
How'd this happen? And then we're going to go into your mom in a minute, because I love her to death. She's one of my closest friends. She's been through.
Yeah, man,
So-
y'all are close. So I was born a preemie. I was born 7 months at exactly 7 months.
Okay.
So obviously it affected my legs real bad, and I have a disability. I really couldn't even tell you the name of it. It's so long, but pretty much it fuses some of your joints in your hips together. Mm-hmm. It just gives you like club leg, pretty much.
Okay.
So I was born with if this makes any sense to you, with my shin leg on my like up here, and my knee was fused to my hip.
Oh, wow.
So my left leg is just a shin bone. This
So it's like things were there,
This
but
is
they
a
were
this
just
is a
locked.
tibia. I pretty much share one leg. If I had a foot, it would make one leg. So this is a normal thigh, but I'm missing a knee on both legs. This is a tibia, so this is a shin bone attached to my hip.
Okay.
So there was a big
And there's a
deformity
long,
there. Yeah.
crazy name for it.
Yeah, just arthropoposis multiplex congenital. It's something like that. It's something along
That
those
sounds
lines.
pretty good.
You did a good job.
Thank you. I've only heard it a couple times. I've only looked it up like twice in my life. It was mainly because like people were asking me like y'all, and I was like, man, I don't know. I don't even know. Like I gotta look this up myself. Because I just didn't think about it too much.
It didn't matter to you.
Yeah, it's why
Like, why do I got to put a name to this?
exactly? It's like they're not there. They're gone.
Yeah.
Like
You want to
What
label
we
it
talking
something,
about?
it doesn't change it.
yeah, exactly.
So your mom's a one of a kind.
Yeah.
We're talking about you, a one of a kind. Your mom's a one of a kind.
She definitely is.
And she's a no quit. And matter of fact,
Absolutely.
she's gonna be behind you, kicking you. I don't care who you are. You're gonna push yourself. There's
Yes.
no quitting her.
No,
Y'all are close.
really close.
Yeah, real closer than most people. Have y'all always been that close?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I've always been a mama's boy. So when I was born, my dad kind of took off.
Okay.
Never met my dad in real life. Honestly, God, it's going to sound. I ain't trying to get pity from nobody, but it's going to sound kind of crucial. But first time I see my dad was in his casket. He died when I was 10. So I went to Dallas, and he was getting buried in Dallas, and that's when I met my grandpa on my dad's side, and I started kind of hanging out with him. So it wasn't.
So you never knew your dad at all?
No, not at all. I didn't even know I had a sister until I was like about 16, 17. I have a half sister that lives in Dallas. But yeah, so, and she tries to, tell me all the time, Dad loved you. He had his name tattooed on you. But I'm like, Dad, I don't know the guy. Like, there's no hard feelings there. I promise you.
She's
Like,
probably thinking she's trying to offset something.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you're saying,
it-
hey, it's cool.
it's
fine.
weird. And then you got people that come do interviews and they'll try to get you to like, Oprah give you a cry show or something. I'm like, dude, I can't tell you about nobody I ain't never met, like I
You
can't
don't
tell
feel
you
like
about.
you were missing out.
Nah, I don't. And there's like there's no hard feelings. I don't feel like I have daddy issues. I maybe, I don't know. A couple girls I dated might have told you different. But yeah, I mean, she was just a hard nosed woman that she'll push you, dude. She'll
Yeah.
she's a one of a kind, man. I can honestly say I've never met a breed like my mom before. Not a woman, at least. You know,
Yeah.
like she's pretty stern.
So
And she'll put the
Very-
put the fear of God in people, man.
Yeah.
Like she's
Yeah.
kind of like a little warden, I call her. You know,
Little ward. So growing up, obviously that was a huge influence.
definitely. She made me do like a everyday stuff, like, you know, climb the counters, get on the counter, get my cup down. And I'd ask her to move the cups down. She wouldn't do it. Like she wouldn't. She's like, no, you ain't gonna. Like who's gonna take care of you when I'm gone? You're gonna have to do this. You're gonna have to figure this out. So, but that was 100 times better than any physical therapist
Yeah.
session could have gave me. You know.
Yeah, to give you an excuse.
Exactly, because like she was just like, figure it out, kind of like you'll get it,
Yeah.
and man, I look at it now, and I'm significantly more independent than a lot of people in my situation.
Yeah.
A lot, and I've lived a life that nobody in my situation has lived. I feel like.
When you were younger, did you sense that about your mom, where it might have irked you? Like, gosh, why are you giving me such a hard time? Or did you appreciate it?
Oh,
did you ever get to a point of reflecting and eventually appreciating it?
Yeah. I started doing speeches. I started doing motivational speeches, and I asked her about, you know, like the time I'm telling you about where I was like, Mom, you remember when I want to say 8 or 9, I asked you to, you know, put the cups down for me, and you said no. And then
Do it
and
yourself.
I was like, dang, man, she is so dang hard on me. Like, you know what I mean? And she was like, buddy, I went to my room and I cried that night. She was like, it was
so
so
you didn't
hard.
appreciate it at the
Yeah,
time.
at the time, I hated
Yeah,
it,
you're
right?
like,
Like, I
why
was like,
you-
man, I'm just trying to get some, like, cereal, dude, you know? But now, looking back at it, it's like, I do everything. Like, I sit there and I'm dumbfounded sometimes about how helpless some people are in my situation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, she had it figured out years before. Like, she got flack for treating me like that.
Yeah, probably. People,
She really
you're
did.
too hard on them. They're probably giving her hell.
Absolutely. Like, growing up, she would be like, you know, you don't have to do that. Like, you don't have to raise no son like that. She's like, no, it's my son. No, you're going to let
Yeah.
me raise him how I want to raise
Yeah.
him. And it worked. It worked. I'm thankful.
You're right.
Very blessed.
Well, it definitely worked because you're one of the most independent people that I know. You've done everything you wanted to.
Yeah.
Nothing has kept you back. Was there ever a time that you actually felt sorry for yourself?
Ooh, let me see.
Because since I've known you, you haven't.
I haven't got into any spells of feeling sorry for myself. I feel like I have. I mean, just like the next guy, kind of like I was on a skateboard. I wasn't riding on a wheelchair at the time. I was on a skateboard. I was trying to get my groceries in the house, and my wheel got caught in a crack, and I couldn't get the dang wheel out of the crack. And I'm trying my hardest, and I throw all the groceries down. And I was like, man, it'd be so easy. Just walk to the door, dude. Just walk, you know. And luckily, I had my friend with me, and he was like, you all right? I was like, dude, I'm having a moment, I guess, you know. But I've had a couple of those, but I've never had like a time to where I just kind of got down and out about it. It's really not that bad to me.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like people look at my situation a lot worse than what it actually is to me.
Yeah.
You know, and it might be to them. I don't know, but it just didn't affect me as bad as.
Well,
the
I
next
think
guy.
a lot of people try to put people in boxes, whatever situation is.
Very
They're trying
true.
to see you. They're going to put you in a box, and they're going to be maybe have pity on you. Maybe the opposite of your mom.
Yes.
Your mom's being hard to you because she loves you and she wants to see you overcome.
And I hate
These
that.
people are like, I want to be like really,
Dude,
delicate with them.
you just acting it is irritating me. I can't stand it. I can't
I can
stand it.
tell.
Honestly,
It's like you get that
yeah, it's like
energy inside.
I honestly I hate it, man. I hate pity because I'm like, there ain't nothing to pity, you know. I had an old woman one time come up to me at the store. I'll never forget this, and she was like, "Military," and I was like, "No, ma'am, I was actually born like this." And then she said, "Horrible way to live, huh?" And I was like, "Dang." Like,
Yeah, what do you say to that?
not that bad, but all right. You know, it's like I feel like I'm getting around a little bit better than you, but I mean,
Well, ever since I've known him, I've seen you go from walking with your arms and gloves, riding skateboards,
Yep.
driving cars, driving trucks. I've seen you. I mean,
evolution, man.
yeah.
I stayed on a skateboard for a long, long time. Honestly, if you'd have told me 10 years ago I'd be on a wheelchair, I'd say you're out of your mind. You know, I really would have.
So walk us through that. When you're a kid, I think you told us a little bit. So when you're young, they tried to give you
Yeah. Okay. So how I got on? Okay.
Right.
Let's.
Yeah, start from the
so
beginning.
I was getting fitted for prosthetics. My mom, she's a gangster. She was driving to Dallas on a weekly basis to Scottish Rite Hospital for all my doctor appointments, trying to get me some prosthetics fitted. And at the time, I was going through surgery after surgery. I've had 28 leg surgeries. So
And
imagine.
that's when you're very young.
Yeah, super young. Yeah. So like most of my childhood is in hospitals. So she's driving back and forth from Dallas. I could tell she's wore out. She's tired as all could get out. And I started getting fitted for prosthetics, and I wore them. But to be honest, I just wore them to please other people. If I'm
This is
being,
what's expected of you.
yeah, it's like you want to walk, right? And I'm like, I guess, like it's a little overrated to me, but
I'm doing pretty
yeah.
good.
So and then this is early '90s. I'm a little seasoned, so the prosthetics they weren't as good. They weren't up to par as they are now, right? So they weren't bendable. I didn't have knees, so they were looking just like stilts in a way.
clunky.
So I looked stupid walking. So I hated that. I mean, if I wanted prosthetic legs, I wanted to look normal.
Yeah.
I want to wear some pants and
Yeah,
chill,
otherwise,
chill
what's
on the
the
wall of the bar and look at just act like a normal guy. But I started doing that. I started getting prosthetics, and then thank God, one day in the 6th grade, I lost a piece to them. That is a valve, and you had like press this. It's almost like a sneaker, like the blow up sneakers.
Okay.
You press this valve, and it'll suction cup that prosthetic on your leg, right? So I lost it. I don't think I lost it on purpose, but I might have. So that day, I had to go to school on my skateboard, just rolling around on my skateboard. This is 6th grade, so we played Duck Duck Goose that day in 6th grade. So I dominated Duck Duck Goose. Like we were having so much fun, and dude, I just stayed on it. Like I loved it so much, and I was like, if I'm cool like this, why aren't y'all cool with it?
Why
Yeah.
not?
Like if it's all right to me, it should be all right to you, no matter what my transportation is. And I stayed like that all the way until about through high school, junior high, college. Till I was about 25.
Skateboarding.
Yeah, till I was about 25, man. I remember just like finally, all right, it's time to grow up.
It sounds like you miss it a little bit.
I mean, Miss always got a special place in my heart, right? Like, yeah, I still get it out when I clean my truck
Yeah.
out and stuff like that, but it don't feel like it used to. I was like, how the heck did I do this?
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
you do not miss it.
No, not at all.
You
no.
reminisce about it. But
Yeah,
you
I
don't
mean, it was
miss
just super fast at the time. Like, if I wanted to get out of a vehicle and get on my skate, I'm off and rolling. And then if I wanted to get out of my vehicle, like, I was just going everywhere kind of fast. And I didn't have to have nobody load up my wheelchair for me if it was raining. I kind of so the skateboard kind of kept me independent until I got around other individuals in wheelchairs. And I was the only guy on the skateboard. I was like a group of 20.
Oh, wow.
And they're like, why don't you get a wheelchair, dude? I'm like, why don't y'all get a skateboard? And I was like, I feel like it's time, like it's time for me to grow up a little bit. And it's way easier to talk to people.
Yeah.
Like you're so much higher in a wheelchair. On a skateboard, if the road's gravel or rocky at all, I got to stop to hear what you're saying, and then I can go rolling again,
Okay.
So it's kind of hard to hear people in a way sometimes.
So I would call that, in our format, we kind of do rounds like a box ring. I would say was in round one, that's kind of like your childhood. And then now, after you've gone that childhood, now you got this phase in your life where you've gone to now you're graduated to you said like a big kid, is that what you said?
Yeah,
Growing
I'm
up?
growing up, man. I didn't have my legs growing, so I had to grow up somehow.
So what was it like then switching into a wheelchair?
I thought it was a lot more work at first. I was very pleased with like other stuff, like my hands weren't getting dirty on the ground all the time. I didn't have to hand sanitize 100 times a day. I didn't have to do all that, and like I said, I could hear people. It was, I mean, I feel like it's way more adultish approaching a woman
lot
in a
of
wheelchair
adulting.
than it is like approaching a woman on a skateboard. You're like, what's up? But a lot of times that would be like my pulling point.
Yeah,
I would sit straight on my skateboard, and if I went out anywhere, I would just turn it sideways, and I'd have all this board exposed, and I would just sit there with a smile on my face and look at everybody and holding a conversation. And there's always going to be one girl to come sit right next to me, uses that open space.
You got a little bench seat.
Yeah, uses that and comes sit next to me, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? So that was my go-to.
Clever.
So, got a couple of y'all back in the day.
So, since I've known you, you've dated umpteen girls. I mean, I can remember when you had many girlfriends, and you've accomplished so many things. But at what point did you make the decision that this wasn't going to hold you back?
Ooh,
Was it young? Was it later? Was it?
I feel like it was pretty young, honestly. Well, I didn't view myself as that different,
Yeah.
you know? So I really didn't feel like there was a holdback for me, or there shouldn't have been.
Just because of your mom and your friends, it sounds like they didn't draw that line between you and the rest of us.
Yeah, like, I mean, I thought I was going to be a roughneck. I thought I was going to be like working the turbines with my buddies and stuff like that. You know, I had a rude awakening when they're like, no, dude, you gotta have something to work out here. You know, you're a hazard.
Well, you know, speaking of work, you speak all around the country, and is there a website that you want to give out to people, or how they can get a hold of you?
Any social media, I mean, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything. I'm Pitbull Ruhl, Zach Pitbull Ruhl. You can see a lot of my videos up there. Got a YouTube account. Have a lot of talks, a lot of like individual talks on that. So
Right.
So what was that like when you're growing up? You got the wheelchair now. You're becoming an adult, and you talked about you wanted to be a roughneck. At what point do you realize, hey, what am I gonna do with my life? What career did you start to have? Like, this moment of like,
I stressed out. I was freaking out at one point because, like, man, it seemed like all my friends were getting jobs or, you know, getting hired like tugboats and off to college, you know, just doing everything. I was like, man, I just don't like. I tried the school thing. I didn't like it as much, but and then I tried applying places. Like, I was just filling out applications like crazy. But to be all honest, like, who's going to hire the kid that shows up on a skateboard, man? You know, like, I don't know what I was expecting, kind of. And it wasn't until one crazy Puerto Rican woman at Fitness Connection. I already applied to Fitness Connection a couple of times trying to be a trainer, and she became the fitness director. She became the person that like led it. And I remember I was doing preacher curls, and she approached me, and then she was like, "Hey, I heard that you were interested about training." And I was like, "Yeah, but I'm a hazard." I blew her off like no other, dude. I was so rude, I feel like.
wow.
And she was like, "No, like, I'm here offering you a job. Like, are you turning it down, you know?" And I was like, "Really?" And she was like, "Are you certified?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got my certs." And she was like, "Okay, bring me on a training session. Like, just train me, and we'll see how you are." And sure enough, trained her. She got me a job, and then I started personal training. And then as that, you know, grew, I was like, man, I kind of want to do my own thing. And I wanted to do more adaptive. I wanted to do more people in wheelchairs. And I kind of wanted to offer, like, free services.
Sure.
Can't do that at Fitness Connection, you know. So I opened up my gym. I had a little, like, personal training gym for a while. And I was offering free classes to adaptive clients and stuff like that.
Well, we kind of jumped ahead. How did you get to the point where you're becoming a certified trainer? Where did that spark come from?
Oh, well, yeah.
'Cause you're obviously a very fit dude, massive biceps. Like, at what point in your life did you say, hey, I want to
I'm going to jump in on this one.
That's a great question.
I'm going to jump. It's a great question, but I know when you started training people and stuff, but maybe go how you got into pumping the weights and training. How you tell us how you got into training,
football.
and then we'll tell how the other.
Able-bodied football. I played football for Sea King High School, and then I was, you know, I worked out in the weight room, obviously on the off season, but I just kind of fell in love with that almost more than I did the like football at one time. Like, I was like, man, I really like this weightlifting stuff, you know, and I knew I did because it kind of evened the playing fields for me. I never felt like I was truly capable of showing how athletic I was or like my true potential because I was kind of like already at a disadvantage on the football field. So I feel like I could cause havoc and make damage for my situation and for what I feel like I really couldn't show really like what I was capable of. And the weight room kind of leveled that for me. It kind of like, you know, I bench press 300 pounds. You bench press 250. You're weaker than me. You know? Like, so it just
I can
like
see that competitive. It's
it
somewhere
just
you can
leveled it
succeed.
for me, and I loved it, and I fell in love with it, and I worked out, and I kept up with it since high school. You know, I was just kind of like a meathead, and I had a buddy who was like well over. Well, I'm going to not say well over, but he was over 300 pounds, and a real good one of my best friends, still to this day. He was like, "Man, let me come to the gym with you. Let me like, you know, just kind of Like, let me hang out and stuff like that. So he did. And I want to say, like, that was kind of like my first client. Like, that was the first one that just came every day. I was kind of telling him what to do. Even the days I didn't go with him, I was kind of giving him homework and stuff like that. And I was like, man, I kind of like this, And he lost a lot of weight. He dropped down to like 220.
Oh, wow.
So he was like looking like a stud, like little, and that was like right when 300 was coming out. So everybody was chasing the Spartan bodies, and so we were on it. He was looking good, and that's when I kind of I was like, man, I want to do this. I kind of want to give it a shot. So I got certified before I even applied to these gyms. That way, I kind of had my foot in the door or whatever.
So you're preparing.
I was trying to prepare myself. Yeah, I was trying.
You're
I was
ready.
at least trying to be the lead candidate, right? Like I was like, well, I already got this cert, this. Like got my NCEP, got my NASM, got my CrossFit Level 1.
So you knew. I mean, you're already recognizing you're at a disadvantage. So the least you could do is give yourself, the credentials, as you did everything that you could do to prepare.
Yeah, I wouldn't have hired me, dude. I'm just being honest. I wouldn't have hired him. Like, no, you're not working here, dude. You're on a skateboard. I would apply for like hobo sandwich shop, like with dirty hands. I'm gonna be making sandwiches. Like like it was just the stupidest thing, So. No, yeah, I was just kind of preparing myself, trying to be a good candidate for the job. And if I didn't get hired there, I wasn't going to stop there. Like I was going to.
Right, you can keep on going.
Yeah,
you don't seem like a guy that stops anywhere.
Yeah, I started
You're gonna
working
keep
there.
on
I
going.
went to Bally's for a little bit. I did Sound Fitness.
Bally's, I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah, that was back in the day. Yeah, all women. Opened up mine eventually, and then started, going from there and just kept up with it. Been doing it ever since. Honestly, I did not expect that. I did not expect to be doing it this long.
I got a question still, not on the list, but how old were you when you first benched 300 pounds?
300 pounds. I got 315 my sophomore year. Yeah, sophomore year in high school, I got 315, and actually my lungs collapsed.
Oh.
And it brought me all the way down to I was skinny when I got to the hospital. And I was like devastated. I remember they had these shirts you had in high school, like the red shirt, the black shirt, the blue shirt. And the black shirt was the hardest one to get. You had to have a certain amount of lifts to get it and all this other stuff. And I had that shirt. And I was like, and you wore it in the field house when, you wore that in the field house. Everybody knew you were strong, right?
Right.
Man, I remember getting out the hospital and just being skinny in the shirt, the shirt swallowing me. And I was like, oh my God, I lost it. I was devastated. Just because my bench was down. I knew my bench press was going to be down.
Yeah.
So it meant a lot, even as an early age, the strength and I guess weightlifting, it meant a lot even then.
So the lung collapsed, and that sounds like a huge deal.
Yeah, a couple times. I had a collapse a couple times. Apparently, 1 in every million white males, which is ironic, I guess, are born with these bubbles on their lungs. And every time we're real active or cough real hard or something like that, these bubbles would pop on my lungs and weaken my lung. And it was it collapsed 3 times.
Wow.
That's another bad hand that you've dealt with and still push on through.
Yeah. Well, I don't got them no more.
Okay,
it's
so
good
you
now.
grow out of?
Yeah,
You
it's
grow
been
out
a
of that?
long time. But I remember when they collapsed the first time, my mom came to the school. She scared the heck out of me. She was had the ambulance with her. We just got x-rays an hour beforehand. Because I was like, something's wrong with my chest. I was like, I think so. I think I've done something. And she was like, why? And I was like, I don't know. So I kept saying my heart. I was like, every time I breathe
Yes,
in,
your chest.
I was like, every time I breathe in, my heart's hurting me bad, And she was like, all right, we'll go to the doctor tomorrow. I went and got x-rays. Then an hour later, they were at the school with an ambulance.
Oh, man.
And she was crying, signing me out. She made it a bigger deal than what it was, I feel like. I mean, obviously she's a mom.
She's mama.
Yeah. But I was freaking out, And then they do chest tubes there, right there in the ambulance kind of. I felt like that was insane. That was so surreal to me. Yeah, it's they're good. I mean, you're good. You're gonna feel a little pinch. They put the needle in your side, and they get you with the numbing. But when it does that, it swells up like crazy. So that'll kind of freak you out. And then next thing they'll just cut you open and slide a tube in your side. I got 4 or 5 chest tube scars.
Oh, wow.
How long were you in the hospital?
Oh my God! One time, about 21 days from that.
21 days.
Yeah, one time, pretty long stint from that. Yeah,
And that's what made you, basically, you're there for so long, you lose your weight, you lose your strength.
yeah.
That's
You're not eating.
That's mentally defeating, too. Then when you get out, obviously you're happy to get out, but now it's like you're starting all over.
Dude, that's what it felt like. It felt like the end of the world to me at the time. And it was just a little weight loss. You know what I mean? It wasn't nothing but some atrophy.
It's no fun.
So, people, sit back, they admire you. I'm sure everybody wants to talk to you because ever since I've known you, everybody wants to be your friend. You got that personality. When did you really start realizing that you were changing lives and people telling you, hey, seeing you've changed my life? Because I know many people that have just been so impressed with you that they have said that their lives have been changed.
Oh man, that's a really good question. To be quite honest, I felt like I didn't really see it that much until after I sold my gym.
Okay.
After I let it go, I was like, man, we were like, then it just like came to like light to me that, man, we were really making a difference in a lot of lives, like rehabilitating people like crazy. I had a girl that got shot in the back by her mom when she was 20 because she wanted to move out with a dude. I had so she's paralyzed. I had another girl paralyzed that got in a car wreck when she was 19 with her boyfriend. And I rehabilitated these girls. They did all the work. Like, granted, right? It's all their hard work.
Them,
but like,
coached them along.
Yeah. And I didn't notice the impact I was making until I kind of like got rid of it. And I was like, man, like that was something, And then I started I started doing the social media thing, and I'd get like DMs and stuff like that where dudes are, it's crazy, man. Honestly, the people that see you and you don't know, the eyeballs that are on you when you don't know or when you don't suspect it is crazy. I got people all the time that reach out and they're like, man, when I first lost my limbs, I looked at your profile and, every day to get me through and this and that. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not that cool, man. I don't feel like I am, but it's insane sometimes. So I'm going to say like after I kind of sold the gym, but like, then the social media, and I started getting a lot of messages, and I really got to see it from like a lot of people.
Let's ring the bell for the round 3. Round 3 is kind of getting to, the first ones are you.
Okay.
Now you're talking about how you're impacting other people's lives. So you started a gym, and you said you did that for a while, and you didn't even realize the impact you're having until you sold the gym.
Yeah.
Then what did you do after that realization occurred?
Well, I sold it because I started doing the speaking gigs, and I was gone quite often. And with that and wheelchair sports, I was never at the gym anymore. I felt like I kind of put it on the back burner. So, I was like, hey man, I just can't be here no more. And I really thought it was like kind of around 2020. It was like 2018ish, 17, and then I was like, man, I just I can't be here, so I'd rather just
Because you were wanting to make an impact.
Yeah.
That's what you did with the speaking.
Yeah.
You didn't realize how much of an impact we were making with your gym is what you're saying.
No, not at all. No. And then, like I said, then you start really thinking about it, and you kind of like, and you see these people, these individuals that were like, came to you and they were riding the metro and they could barely they look like little bobbleheads. Like they could barely move. And now they got husbands and daughters and they're going to college. Lives. Yeah. And it's crazy to see where they came from just because all they needed was a little push. And I was a straight butthole to these girls. Like I was so like, I ain't gonna like you just because you're crippled. I was like, I ain't gonna like you.
You were harsh.
I was like, I ain't gonna like you just because you're handicapped. I was like, just because your situation. I was like, you're gonna have to show me some sweat equity. Like, you know what I mean? Like let me see something. And they did, dude. They surpassed everything I thought they were capable of. Shout out Jesse and Mildred. Y'all guys like changed my life, honestly, more than I changed y'all's.
But you pushed them.
Yeah.
And, you've been there, you've done that, and now you're giving back and you're pushing them.
That's it, yeah. And I feel like that's like the coolest. Honestly, I feel like I'm in the coolest chapter of my life by doing that. Like it was cool doing all the bullfighting, the football.
Oh man, we didn't even get to talk about that.
Like I feel like I lived a really normal. It's going to sound weird. I feel like I lived a really normal life for a guy without legs. Like I fought bulls. I played football. I did it all, right? Like so, I was just doing a normal thing.
Tell us about the bulls.
Yeah, that's a good story.
Man, it was just we were sitting over at a ranch, and we used to fish at this ranch all the time. And I've been around it all my life, but I really never. Done it, but I'll get in. Hey, get the attention of a bull, everything like that. And they had the Bull Fighters Only Association over there doing classes, for kids or people that just wanted to get a rodeo clown game, and this one kid was so timid about getting in there, and I was like, it's really not that hard. I was like, man, I'd do it. And he's like, yeah, right. He said something. I forget what he said. He said something fly to me.
Something that just got under your skin.
And I was like, give me them gloves, dude. I didn't even have a vest on my first time. I mean, I got videos of it. I just kind of went out there and I, dodged around and like slipped and slide. And then after I got off, everybody was kind of stomping their feet, like all the cowboys getting kind of, they're like, hell yeah, we need to show everybody this. and then, man, it was fun. I couldn't get a rodeo wouldn't hire me. They're like, no, dude, we're not going to be the people that get you.
Yeah,
killed.
they're going to feel bad, like they're taking advantage of you.
Yeah,
You're like,
and
I want to do it.
And Juneteenth has a special day in my heart because it was a all black rodeo on Juneteenth that hired me to do my first rodeo gig. Yeah,
That's awesome.
I love it, dude. Like it was and these dudes were awesome too. Like they kind of took me underneath their wing and like chased me with barrels and like taught me a lot. So. Man, it's a good scenario. It was like perfect that other rodeos were turning me down because I couldn't see it going no other way.
There's video of this. Gosh, I wish we had some to show.
Yeah. On Instagram there is. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah, dude. I got some pretty sick videos on there. Dodging, ditching.
So you've already said your Instagram. Say it one more time. Just
Pitbull Ruhl.
Pitbull.
Yeah.
Ruhl.
RUHL. My last name. Pitbull.
All right. So
RUHL.
if you want to see videos of him fighting a bull, go to Pitbull.
Yeah,
Ruhl
I got it.
on
I got it
Instagram.
pinned on the top. You'll see it. First video, man.
Oh, that's incredible. Maybe we can bring that up as we're talking.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Zach, does sometimes people try to help you so much they actually get in your way? Because I know you get something in your mind, you get going after it.
Yeah,
Do people try to do they just get in your way sometimes?
All y'all do is slow me down. Like, and I say that to people trying to help, trying to offer a hand all the time, and they don't understand. I'm like, bro, all you gonna do is slow me down. Because I mean, I understand it's coming from a kind place too. That they're like, let me
mean well.
let me throw me your wheelchair in the back. I'm like, then how am I gonna get it out? If you throw it in the bed of my
When you're
truck,
not
how am
here.
I gonna get it out there if I don't put it in the truck with me? Like, so I don't think they truly
They're not
think it all
thinking it
through.
through.
But a lot of times, yeah, it's. But I ain't scared to ask for help either at all. I mean, my wheelchair rolls off. I'm like, hey, brother, get that for me. You hand me that chair, or get that Coke up top.
People are nice for the most part,
Oh yeah,
and people want to help.
they do.
Yeah.
I ain't really had a bad experience, with that. I mean, other than like the weird questions,
Now,
What are some of the weirdest questions you got?
Oh Lord, I've had some weird ones, man. I don't know.
Nothing top of your head? Put you on the spot.
Yeah, they're mainly like honestly like just naughty ones. Yeah. So it's like,
naughty ones.
yeah, it's like if I have one, does it work? Mostly like there's only one way to find out. Man. So it's mainly those, but like it's funny like how they work it in. So
They're a little
so you
hesitant.
feel everything, like, yeah, dude.
Oh, this is great. So you've become a voice not only for people with disabilities, but I'd say people just facing challenges. And is there anything that you would kind of want to add to how do you, what do you want people to wake up to? How do you get people's minds to wake up to what you've already kind of seen in order to getting them to change their mindset? Because that's what it really boils down to.
I feel like everybody kind of has that dog in them, right? But like, it takes a lot to pull it out, And I wish people would just know it's in there a lot of time. It just know it's in there. Like a lot of people just don't even know it's there. I feel like, and it is.
It is.
Like,
Just try.
It is. Like, I went to. I mean, it's on the subject, but not. I went to a Tony Robbins seminar, and it was good. It was great. Man, I got a lot from it, right? But in a way, I felt like all these people in there are kind of looking for something I already got. Like they're looking for that dog.
Looking for something on the outside.
Yeah,
It's
kinda.
really on the inside.
And I was like, man, this is this is like a little weird. Like I feel like I already got that, and it's always a good day to have a good day. I feel like a lot of people just
Good
need to
philosophy.
wake up with that, man. It's always a good day to have a good day.
Yeah.
You made a good point. I like Tony Robbins. I like people that, I like his message. But I do believe, I've been to some of these events.
Have you?
And a lot of these people are looking for something.
Yes.
And they're going to Tony and like, if I can just go here and I could get something. And you're kind of calling it out like, man, it's already in you.
Yeah.
Now, maybe going to those events to help bring it out, but so many people are just bouncing around looking for something. And
Yeah.
you're saying it's already there.
I feel like you already got it, man. You need something, or you need to hit rock bottom. Or something.
That's a good point.
You just need to hit rock bottom, and it only weighs up at that point. You know what I mean?
That's a very good point.
Because I feel like so many people are on the verge of making that jump, but they never do, of their dreams or whatever it may be because of that. Because they're scared, they're nervous.
It's that fear. Oh, hey. All right. We got Jarrell said he's got
Well, what
he's
you
got
got?
one of these videos up. Let's put it on screen. All right.
Oh yeah, do
Here's-
not play the audio of that one.
Okay, no audio.
Okay.
Oh man, look at that.
Yeah, that was at practice. I actually got one with a big bull on there too.
Jeez, no vest.
Think, yeah, that was at the first practice right there. I'm putting on the gloves to show that kid.
That was the first one. Right
Yeah,
there.
that was one of the first ones right there.
Like, I'm gonna show you how it's done.
I was like, well, kid, it ain't that. I was like, they're just going to run over you, like. I was like, just never stop moving, never stop moving. I was like, no matter what, twist.
I mean,
turn.
did it happen so fast? In hindsight, you're like, what the hell was I thinking? Or did it happen so quick? Like I could have.
I definitely bit off a little bit more than I could chew because like they had another like 4 or 5 bulls in the chute they were ready to send out, and I was like, no. I was like, 3's good, dude. I ain't going all day. Like I ain't trying for this. And but then again, some people were so amped up that they just wanted to see it
just
again.
fueled you.
Yeah, they were like, oh my god, dude, this is like insane. Because like I'm not slow on my hands, which is weird. Like I feel like I scare people often about how fast I am on my hands. Yeah. So like when they see it, they're like, oh my god, like this kid's moving.
He moves quick.
Yeah, he's like a little water bug.
So, Zach, when you were growing up, you had a lot of friends, but you had to have some guys that tried to start trouble, tried to start push you, tried to pick on you, tried to. Have you ever gotten a fight?
Yes, I've had a lot of those. I wasn't always happy-go-lucky. I had a chip on my shoulder. Like most kids though. Yeah, I just kind of grew up. I feel like it was just a normal thing though. I don't feel like
right, it's
I don't
normal.
feel like it was that bad back in the day. Like like it's a lot more frowned upon now. Like now it's like okay, nobody uses violence, but like 90s, early 2000s, that was like
Survival.
what we did.
Right.
It's like we went to parties to fight, kind of, type of deal. So yeah, I did that, and like honestly, that was like my first time I could like show like I'm better than somebody. I feel like if I beat you up, then you just got beat up by the legless guy.
Yeah, exactly. How do you
But
want to beat that
if
guy?
you beat me up, you just beat up a legless guy. So I felt you were lose, dude.
That is so true.
Right?
I wouldn't want to be that guy. It's like
Neither one of them. I wouldn't want to be neither one of those guys, right?
Neither one.
So I feel bad still to this day about guys that like I've gotten a better hand.
So there's guys out there today that think about that. It's like, God, that guy,
Oh,
the guy without legs
guarantee there's
beat
somebody watching this right now saying like, that guy beat the heck out of me.
me. Maybe he's proud of it today. He's like, yeah, that guy.
Maybe, man. I hope so, dude. Like I was like, they had to get made fun of for the rest of their life.
Now the
right?
other one that actually might have like put a hurting on you, like that guy's the one who's like, God, what the heck was that?
Yeah,
What kind of loser am I?
dude. Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay.
Fish out of water, buddy. Yeah.
Either way, like you said, it's lose-lose.
The reason I say it is because I had a bouncer one time. I hit a guy and I knocked out his tooth. This is at an old bar. It's shut down now, or name's changed. And the guy went to go like snitch me out to the bouncer. He was like, "Man, I knocked my tooth out." He said, "What you want me to do?" He's like, "If I go out there and like get beat up, I got beat up by a legless guy." He said, "If I go out there and whoop on him," he says, "I'm whooping up on the legless guy." And I was right there to hear it. I'm dying. And then, me and that dude are great friends now. The bouncer, Ben, he's a buddy of mine. But man, that's such a funny story. We really didn't know each other at the time.
And you've pretty much all your life had this humor and
Oh, yeah.
personality that you've laughed about everything. And
Yes.
I mean, this is you.
Yeah.
What you see is what you get.
Absolutely. I try to be that guy no matter what. Yeah. I try to be 100% me, which is not always a good thing. Not always a good thing, but for the most part, it's done me good.
Let's go ring the bell for round 4.
Let's do it.
So basically, the purpose. You've kind of gone through your growth. Now you're helping other people. Like this purpose. Do you feel like pressure to be inspiring? Are there days that you're just like, you know what? I got my own issues. I don't want to have to always be inspiring all of y'all with your issues. Do you ever
Definitely.
feel that.
Definitely, but I talk about it. See, I don't
So talk us through that.
I don't try to play that role every day. If I'm having a bad day, I say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a little blue today. You know what I mean? I'm not having the best day. Yeah, I mean, it could be the legs. I mean, it could be joints, neck, whatever, you know, whatever it may be, just pain, period. But I try to tell everybody, it's like, not every day is going to be sunshine and rainbows. I mean,
Yeah.
It is what you make it, right? And I was like, but I definitely have that meter tipping more towards the good days than the bad days, you know?
Well, how you feel is a choice.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all perception, man. I mean, you could look at your situation, you could think like, but man, I promise you, being in the wheelchair game, being around other like disabilities, I'm very blessed to be just an amputee.
Yeah.
Like I say that with the most confidence. I'm so thankful for just being in my situation.
God made you the way that you're supposed to be.
Yeah, I'm cool. Like I'm cool. Y'all can have them legs. Have them. I'll take a new truck.
Yeah, but you've just, like you said, it's mindset. And there's people with all their limbs, come 100% healthy, that have a much worse outlook on life, that are miserable people.
They got people on my 600-pound life.
So it's just, it is how you think.
Yeah, just eating herself to a cat. That show gives me anxiety. That's why I was watching it before I came here, and I was like, man, I was sweating, dude. I was like, oh, I wish I could train these people. I wish I could just get in that bed with them, make them put some dumbbells in their hands. It gets me like antsy.
So we talked about you doing 300 pounds a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
What did you peak off at? I mean, I know close to what it is of your maximum weight, because you got pretty fanatical about it.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, you love breaking records. You laugh, you break records, go for another one. What are some of the records you have broke?
I broke the all-time world record for my weight class in bench press. I think I was 65 kilograms, which is like 145 pounds, I think, something like that. And I bench pressed 501 pounds, 501.5. I always take away that 0.5, but it's on
You
there.
got to add it on there.
You got to
That's-
add it there,
That's
right?
0.5.
Do you know how long it took me to press 500 pounds?
You still
I've
work-
never.
you still- I was fixing to say,
It's
still
a tough
working on
week,
it?
man. That was a tough one. It took a little bit. You know, it really did. It took me like, I mean, I was already strong. I was already working out. That's kind of like where it came about, because I was working out at the gym, and I had a coach approach me. He was like, man, you're strong. Like, you're strong. You ever think about doing a powerlifting meet? And I was like, yeah, I mean, I will, you know, if you think I got something. And then I signed up I started being a part of the national team, the Paralympic team, for a little bit. And me and the coach just bumped heads like crazy. She was from New York. She was like a stern woman herself. And I was a arrogant, cocky kid, you know, and I was stronger than a lot of I was already like one of their strongest athletes. So they couldn't tell me nothing, you know, like I give it to her. I wasn't no easy
You were
cupcake
difficult.
myself, you know? And then, yeah. And I ended up getting like, not kicked off the team, but leaving that. And I was like, you know, what's the all-time world record for, I was like, Paralympics, Olympics, whatever, USPA, what's the all-time world record for somebody my weight class? I was like, no anything. And they were like, you know, I think it was like 487. And I was like, well, 500 it is, you know, and I just shot for it. And
Has it been broken yet?
no,
You
I still got it, yeah.
Still
I broke
got
it by a long, I want to say it was like 460 something. So I broke it by,
So you set the bar high.
yeah, I was like pushing for, but I tried 500 pounds on the platform, I think 6 times before I finally got it.
Okay, so it wasn't an immediate
So it was
victory.
not easy, dude. It was like, it was easy for me at least. You know, it might be to some, but it was challenging. Like
Yeah.
everything would go right in prep, and then I would get to the stage and just like, you know, I'd bomb the weight. Like I wouldn't press it, or I'd hitch and they wouldn't count it. Or at one time I had a judge that had a brain fart. She didn't tell me the down command, so I was just holding the weight up for like 13 seconds.
Oh man!
And then they let me have another 2 tries at it, but
By then you're spent.
you're smoked after holding your 1 rep max up for 15 seconds,
Yeah,
you know? Yeah.
If we got anybody guests that have any questions, go ahead and drop them in there, and we'll check them out.
All right.
So if somebody's listening today that's trying to overcome things or having problems or, dealing with things in life, what would you say to them?
Having problems or dealing with life?
Yeah, whether it be, physical problems, whether it be any type of problem at all. What is your words to them? Your words of wisdom.
I mean,
Get off your butt and try.
Yeah.
Don't quit.
In time, this too shall pass. That there's always going to be some light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like a lot of people give up right before they get to that turbo boost. Like you saying you could have gave up on your movie 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years, 2 years ago. It wouldn't have been nowhere, right?
Yeah.
It's very easy to give up. It's so much harder to keep on going and being that dude or being that person. Why would you not want to be? And more than likely, people's families already look to them like they're a superhero. I tell a lot of people that just end up in wheelchairs, that are going through like physical therapy and stuff like that. One of my speeches to them, I was like, man, the way I see it, you got two routes. And I was like, I've seen this over and over and over again. I was like, you can get mad and bitter and pissed at the world for what happened to you. And you got every right to, man. You got blown up, whatever it may be, right? And I was like, and you can hold that hurt in your heart and project it on your people, but you're going to do nothing but push people you love away from you, right? I was like, but if you buy in and you do the work and you rehabilitate yourself, you actually buy into the program, right? And I was like, then you become the superhero that your family already thinks you are again.
Yeah.
It's
So
inspiring.
That's a big one to me. It's like, man, like don't give up. You got a lot of people watching you.
Yeah.
Let's ring the bell for the final round. And we'll start.
This is where the
start
smoke
to wrap
hits,
it up. So if you've already done so much, but you're still young. You still got a lot ahead of you. What are some of the next things you're looking at? You seem like a guy that likes challenges.
Yeah.
It's on the horizon.
Mr. S., I also want to make a comment. You've been on magazines, in magazines. What all have you done, and then continue with that?
Oh man. God, I hate this.
You're bragging on yourself.
I hate accomplishments. Yeah.
If you gave me a list, I'd do it for you.
I mean, honest guy, it's a lot, but
Tell
Just
us.
rattle off a few.
I've done Men's Health magazine. I've been to Spain with Daddy Yankee, dancing on stage on a TV show. I've done it all, man. People magazine. Let me see, People magazine, CNN, Nickelodeon,
Wow.
German news station, El Hormiguero in Spain. Just a lot of stuff, man. I've traveled all over.
So even more, it even emphasizes what I'm saying. You've already done so much.
Yeah.
What else?
I don't know. I don't know.
Still looking?
I really don't. Man, I wish I had a plan and board, but like right now, I'm kind of just focused on like training people, making sure people are.
So just making an impact.
Yeah, just making an
continue.
impact, and then and honestly keeping going with the social media thing because like it does make it makes a little income in a month. And I feel like if I can make money just being myself, then why not do that?
Why not do
like
it?
because like you say, like it's already pressure. There's a ton of pressure, right? There's a ton of pressure of being inspiring every day. But one thing I try to tell myself on the social media platform is I try not to post. I just try to document.
There you go.
So I don't try to like come up with the best posts I could possibly think of, and like how am I going to outdo this one, and how am I going to? I just document my life, like whatever I got going that day or that
Good way
week.
to look at it.
I'll just kind of put it on video and post it like that.
So-
So I don't have no pressure.
So 20, 30 years from now, what do you want people to say about Zach?
Oh, 20 or 30, I just want to say that's one hard sucker, I guess. Yeah. That's I'm gonna put it like that. Yeah.
Would it-
Never stopped at nothing, man. I just want to be a trying man.
Go,
I just
go.
want to be labeled as a trying man.
What would 12-year-old Zach say if he could see you now?
I ask myself this all the time. I don't know if he'd be pissed or happy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know if he'd just be mad at me or like, what you doing? Or just
Or
like
proud.
that was awesome, right? Like I don't. I tend to think like I made the young Zach happy, man, because I really did give everything a shot. Like I at least tried, and I didn't mean just dabble my little nub in it. I mean like I full-fledged jumped
Dabble
in
my
everything I was
nub.
doing.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with that. I'm happy about my efforts I've given and everything I've done for sure.
I'm going to lead you into this. What would you say to, I'm kind of lead you on to inspire people as far as, giving it their all. If you're going to do something, that's you're saying, just go all in.
No point of half butting it, right? No point of half assing it. Yeah, you might as well go all the way with it. Yeah, if you're going to try anything, you might as well give it an actual try, right?
Yeah.
And don't be scared to be bad at something.
I've seen so many folks that it's like they don't want to give it their all, because then if they do fail, they have that little excuse in their head. Well, if I would have given
because
my all, it's like they give themselves a built-in excuse, but they've already set themselves up for failure.
I don't feel like people are that scared to fail. I feel like they're scared to fail in front of other people.
That's a good point.
Honestly, like if I'm just completely honest, I really think that's a thing. I don't think, because failing ain't really that scary to me. It's it's the eyes that see you
shame.
fail. Yeah, the shame, the guilt, whatever it comes with. Like, oh man, so and so was the agent. Now they're working at whatever or what. I don't know what it is. It's just it's like I feel like that kind of like a lot of people see my gym as a failure because I was like, well, no, I got out when I wanted out. Like it wasn't. It was a success to me. Like all these TV stations I just told y'all about came to the gym.
Right.
Like, so it was a big success to me, but then again, I sold it and I went in a chapter, so it's a failure to some, right? Or I failed.
I mean, failure, success. Did you learn? Did you inspire? I think.
Oh, I threw myself into with the wolves as far as like business wise. I feel like that's the best learning I could have did though, honestly. Like, I don't feel like school could have taught me business a fraction of what I learned owning the gym for 3 years.
And you didn't go to business school.
No.
That's school of hard knocks.
Not at all. No, that's all. Like we started off, we didn't have one member. We had all the equipment, like loans, everything. The gym ready to rock, and not
was
one
scary.
member. It's super scary, dude. I had to open. Yeah, I just paid enough for the first and last month rent, and offered a free month for everybody who came. And I was like, I'll give you a free month. If you like it, I'll put you in at this rate, and you'll be grandfathered at that rate for as long as you remember. And luckily, we got 30 members from that, and enough to cover the rent. But it was nerve-wracking, man.
Like, this is my last question. How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a leader of a movement, a leader during a time that people needed help? Or how do you see yourself, and how do you want people to see you later?
I don't see myself as that much of a leader, but I feel like others do.
I do.
Others definitely do. And I can see it. Like it's apparent. I feel like, you're right. It's like when I roll into a room, especially with other people in wheelchairs, it's like, oh man, like I feel like I kind of a magnet for like presence.
Yeah. You become their hero. You've become so many people's hero. But for sure, the people that have, that's on a court, they see you, that you've done all these great things. You've been on TV, you've been on magazines, you've won championships, you've done, they see you as a hero.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty awesome. I think that's really going to answer my question here. You see yourself as a leader, and you've done a great job.
I definitely do. I do and I don't. Like, I wouldn't just say I'm trying to lead the world or anything like that. But I say like, as far as the fitness stuff goes, as far as like, okay, for instance, when I first got into the wheelchair calisthenics thing, like attach my wheelchair to me and doing calisthenics, there was like one, maybe two other people doing it, right? Like it wasn't nobody. Now there's thousands of.
You led the way.
Yes, and it's weird to think that, man, I paved that road for.
You did.
Because like I'll tell everybody, now I wasn't the first one to do it, but I was the first one to make it look easy and like kind of perfect it in a way.
Yeah.
Like I've seen people do 1 or 2 muscle ups with their wheelchair on them. I've never seen anybody do like 25 with ease, and so like I've definitely took it to the next level. But it's weird seeing. That's where I kind of think I'm a leader at. Where you're saying is like I see that and I'm like, man, I really paved the way. Like I'm becoming the old school that paved the way for the young bucks, dude. It's weird because I started out as the young buck, so it's like coming back tenfold.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a lot more of that in your future, and I can't wait to follow it.
Yeah, thank you, man.
I think you're a great leader. Mr. S?
I think we wrap it up, and I just really appreciate you sharing your story.
Oh,
I
thank
think
you.
It's inspiring, and if anyone's not inspired by this, there's something wrong with them. The idea of just the mindset that you bring, your sense of humor, and you've got every reason to be the exact opposite. So
Hey,
that to me is just,
I appreciate that.
wow.
Confidence over crippled.
Yes,
My
sir.
shout out is to you, but I also want to shout out to your mom and any other moms out there, but her specifically. Thank you, Cheryl, for being a pain in his butt and
my
not
God.
letting him slack off and not taking it easy on him, because Cheryl, you've created a guy here that, because he's got the desire and you pushed him, he's touching lives all over the country.
I appreciate
Thank you
it.
for that, Zach.
And thank you, Mom. Shout out.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
We'll,
probably
we'll
watching.
wrap up our show with keeping our guard up. But before we do that, any final word, any last bit of advice for anybody going through a hard time from Mr. Zach Ruhl?
No, man. I hope my story can inspire you or maybe motivate you and help you out if you are going through, trying times. Seasons get rough for everybody. Just know that. I don't know a person that don't go through a bad season, so it's all right. You'll get through it.
Before we keep our guard up, tell us one more time, how can people get a hold of you?
Pitbull Ruhl, Zach Pitbull Ruhl. You can look up on any social media platform.
All right, we'll close it out. We'll look into that large camera with all of us, and we'll just tell everybody keep their guard up. Sound good?
Keep your guard up, guys. Zach, get your guard up, son.
I got it up. I'm southpaw right now, though.